Daily Alert for Wednesday, August 24, 2016. News. NRA attacks Question 3 ballot initiative in Maine. During remarks at the Maine Policy Center's Freedom and Opportunity Luncheon, Chris W. Cox, Executive Director of NRA's Institute for Legislative Action, NRA, warned voters that Question 3 would not prevent criminals from obtaining firearms but would criminalize common practices of law-abiding gun owners. The Washington Times. NRA, LaPage come out against Maine background check proposal external site. Maine GIF. Paul LaPage and National Rifle Association of America lobbyist Chris Cox say a Maine referendum designed to strengthen background checks is an affront to gun rights and individual liberties. News. NRA statement on Governor Christie's conditional vetoes of anti-gun bills. NRA Executive Director Chris Cox explains how New Jersey Governor Chris Christie's conditional vetoes would remove a subjective impediment to firearm permit issuance. The Terror Watch List and Due Process of Law. News. The Terror Watch List and Due Process of Law. The core mission of the NRA is, of course, to protect our fundamental right to keep and bear arms. In doing so, we also fight to ensure that our firearm freedom is not restricted without due process of law. Our opponents, however, never miss a chance to try to eliminate our Second Amendment protected rights and would freely discard the rest of the Bill of Rights to do so. NRA Executive Director, Chris W. Cox, addresses the Heritage Policy Center in Portland, Maine. News. NRA Executive Director, Chris W. Cox, addresses the Heritage Policy Center in Portland, Maine. NRA Executive Director, Chris W. Cox, addresses the Heritage Policy Center in Portland, Maine. New Jersey, Governor Christie conditionally vetoes justifiable need and smart guns. Legal and legislation. New Jersey, Governor Christie conditionally vetoes justifiable need and smart guns. Today, Governor Chris Christie took a historic step on behalf of the state's beleaguered gun owners by vetoing A.3689 and S.816. Real Clear Politics. What a Clinton Supreme Court would mean for America external site. Without a doubt, the Second Amendment would become a primary target of a liberal Supreme Court. In recent years, two landmark decisions protecting an individual's right to own and bear arms, Heller v. District of Columbia and McDonald v. City of Chicago, were each decided by just one vote. Are you noticing the 5-4 trend yet? Given the opportunity, a liberal court wouldn't hesitate to overturn those decisions. Xinhua. Mexico asks U.S. Congress to renew ban on assault weapons external site. Mexico's Foreign Minister Claudia Ruiz Massieu on Monday asked the U.S. Congress to restrict the sale of assault weapons as they cause harm on both sides of the border. Ruiz Massieu made this call at the Second Conference of States Parties to the Arms Trade Treaty of the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. Reuters. Europeans turn to weapons in growing numbers after attacks external site. Europeans in a number of countries are seeking to arm themselves with guns and self-defense devices in growing numbers following a series of attacks by militants and the mentally ill. Some weapons sellers also link their increased business to the arrival of huge numbers of migrants in Europe, although a German police report stated that the vast majority do not commit crimes of any kind in the country. Breitbart. Claim. Michael Bloomberg demanded John Lott interview cut from Karuch gun control film external site. Radio host John Cardillo claims that interview segments with noted gun scholar John Lott were included in the earliest version of Katie Karuch's gun control movie Under the Gun, but were taken out at Michael Bloomberg's request following a private screening. San Antonio Express News. Texas school district sign. Armed faculty may use whatever force necessary to protect students' external site. A new sign at the two campuses in Claude, a rural town with a population 1,200, call attention to the fact that some of the school district's staff is armed and may use whatever force necessary to protect its students, according to media reports. ABC 6, Sevierville, Tennessee, the 23rd of August 2016. Homeowner holds armed, convicted felon robber at gunpoint. External site. After being woken up by the sounds of a would-be robber, a Tennessee homeowner held the armed man at gunpoint until police arrived on the scene.